So after the schedule releases were fully revealed, eyes narrowed at the Buffalo Bills because they have one of the easiest schedules this year, and every single difficult opponent they face, they play at home in Buffalo. That, combined with several other factors I'll dive into today, has many fans questioning the NFL, with some thinking the league really wants to help win them a ring. The problem is it's really not that simple and not that straightforward, so I gotta get into all that, talk about an NFL team deleting their schedule release video and issuing an apology, NFL players possibly getting to play in the 2028 Olympics, and more right after. Alright, first up, the entire NFL schedule was released last night, which means we got a lot of creative videos from every team's social media department, and one of them ended up deleting their video and even made a public apology. In honor of the new Minecraft movie that recently came out, a couple teams took inspiration from that and made it the theme of their release video, with those two teams being the Chargers and the Colts. Well, it was Indy who actually deleted their video just an hour or two after posting it. Here's what happened. They play the Miami Dolphins week 1, so to start the video, they had Tyreek Hill as a Dolphin getting arrested by the Coast Guard. That's obviously a callback to when he got arrested before the first game of last year, or could have even alluded to a recent incident where the police were called to his house, and he's also had several other off-the-field situations that have popped up over the years as well, some not as serious, some even more serious, including all the way back to college. I think they were probably alluding to the week 1 incident more than anything else, but they believed the video to be in poor taste after all was said and done, and deleted their video last night and then released a statement earlier today. My question is, how the heck does it even get that far? Well, their statement kind of gives us an answer here. Quote, "We removed our schedule release video because it exceeded our rights with Microsoft and included an insensitive clip involving Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. We sincerely apologize to Microsoft and Tyreek." Now, the reason they're apologizing to Microsoft is because they own Minecraft, so they could have potentially asked them to take it down, talking about Microsoft reaching out to the Colts organization. And if you're wondering why the Chargers, who also used a Minecraft-styled release, still have their video up and didn't have to delete it, the intro of their video had a disclaimer and said they had permission from Microsoft to do that, whereas the Colts had no such disclaimer and might have done this without their permission. So that could very well be the main reason they took it down rather than the Tyreek Hill piece. Tyreek's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, said that Tyreek didn't take the Colts post seriously and he thought it was funny. Quote, "He laughed about it and didn't think they needed to take it down on his account." And to further cement that, Tyreek Hill himself tweeted out that they should have left it up as it was funny and even tagged the Colts organization on X. He followed up with a troll video of his own pretending to be the Colts social media team who, quote, "posted their release video without any approval, and this is how they acted." Now, I don't think any of these teams went too far, but the Chargers have been known to be pretty edgy with their videos themselves. They themselves had Tyreek in their video. They had him running through a yacht late for a team meeting. And then if you look careful, you can see the sign in the background that says, "Be aware, be prepared, look out," which makes the acronym BBL. That doesn't really seem to be the most kid-friendly thing, but to be clear, I don't think either video went too far in their jokes. I thought both were funny. It just seems it was more to do with Microsoft than anything else for the Colts. But hey, let me know your thoughts on this one. Did the Colts take this too far? And did they actually need to apologize to Tyreek? Or do you actually agree with Tyreek on this one? And then now that the schedule releases are fully out, there's a couple interesting takeaways worth mentioning. The Eagles are the first team in NFL history with 10 or more games against playoff teams from the previous season. That's actually pretty crazy to think about, considering aside from themselves, there were only 13 other playoff teams, so it's safe to say they're going to have their hands full this year. Let's be honest though, this team is stacked, so I'm sure things will pan out just fine for the Eagles. Now, one of those playoff teams is the Kansas City Chiefs, who actually tied the record for the most primetime games in a season with 7. They tied with the Bills, who also had 7 in 2023. I know people will complain about that, Chiefs fatigue, all that, I get it. But the NFL is going to keep putting them in primetime as long as they continue to drive ratings and people watch, which of course they do, albeit most of them are probably hate watching. On the subject of the Bills, many think the NFL intentionally gave them a very easy schedule this year, many calling it a cupcake schedule and even insinuating it could be rigged to try to set up a Bills Super Bowl. I will touch on that here in a bit because it's worth talking about. But I first want to say regarding the schedule release and getting to see everything, Kansas City, going back to the Chiefs, they tied with the Commanders for the most standalone games with 8. So for example, the Chiefs play on Thanksgiving at 3:30 p.m., which isn't technically primetime. Primetime is an evening standalone game, but it's a nationally televised game and the only one being played during that time. But this is a pretty cool milestone for the Commanders, as it's the first time in franchise history they have 8 standalone games. It makes sense. They are very exciting to watch, and I'll definitely be tuning in. Now, regarding the Buffalo Bills, their schedule release revealed some interesting context. We'll just put it like that. They have the 5th easiest strength of schedule per Warren Sharp, and their 4 toughest opponents all have to travel to Buffalo, with those being the Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, and Bengals. So they have home field advantage against all 4 of their toughest opponents, and if that wasn't enough, they play just 1 game out of their time zone and have the 2nd fewest miles traveled. The less miles traveled, just the better overall. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole as to why. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then Zbot from Buffalo Fanatics pointed out that of the top 9 easiest strength of schedules for 2025, every team on there had a losing record aside from the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you compare the 4-team strength of schedules that all made the conference championship, the Bills again have the 5th easiest, but the Commanders are all the way down at 19th. The Chiefs are 27th, and the Eagles are 29th. Again, remember, the Eagles play 10 teams that made the playoffs last year. So there's certainly a lot that seems to be tipping in the Bills' favor right now, especially when you see they have one of the easiest road schedules of any team this year, and then of course play in what you could argue is the weakest division in football. I mean, it's not really their fault that they have to go against the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets 6 times a year, just like the Patriots back in their heyday. And the same could be said of the Chiefs for several years in the AFC West, although the AFC West is now one of the toughest divisions in football. And look at this. If you glance at the betting odds for the season, Buffalo is tied for the 3rd best odds with the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and they are actually favored in all 17 games this season. In fact, they are the only team favored in every single game for 2025, which is crazy. Obviously, this is much more than just an easy schedule, because the Bills are a really good football team, and Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's not really up for debate. So I myself wouldn't go as far as saying, hey, the NFL is rigging things in favor of the Bills. The schedule is planned years in advance, and it's pretty randomized. It's not really their fault who they are playing based on how the schedule rotates like that. But I will say they probably have the quote-unquote easiest path to grabbing the 1 seed this year. It's just on them to execute it. No excuses. But what do you guys think about all this? Is the NFL rigging things for the Bills? I mean, if you look on X, a lot of people are saying, hey, this is intentional. The NFL wants Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl. Yada, yada, yada. I don't really know about all that, but hey, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Next up, we might be getting close to seeing NFL players participate in the Olympics. Next week during the league meetings in Minnesota, owners are going to discuss a resolution that would allow NFL players to participate in the Olympics, which will include flag football for the first time in the 2028 Olympics. If this gets approved, no more than 1 player from each team can participate, plus each team's designated international player. Also, it's not like every team has to send a player, and there's only 12 guys on every team as it is. But we've already seen some of the game's biggest superstars express interest in playing. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill, among others. One of the concerns, though, is scheduling conflicts. The 2028 Olympics are scheduled to be held in Los Angeles from July 14th through the 30th, which would put the gold medal game the same week that some NFL teams report to training camp. So not sure how all the logistics of that would work out, but at least they would just be traveling from LA and not another country halfway across the globe, so it could work in theory. The players want to play. I think us fans want to see it, and it sounds like it's in the best interest of the league in terms of growing the sport. In a statement that was a part of that proposed resolution, it says, quote, participation by NFL players in flag football during the 2028 Summer Olympics will support such growth and advance several league interests, including increasing fan and public interest in flag football, expanding the global reach of the NFL, and providing greater opportunities for fan engagement and for our league partners. I mean, I myself am probably not going to watch flag football in the Olympics unless some heavy hitters from the NFL are actually in it, but that's just me. I just really hope that there's some kind of tryout, and I hope that tryout is somehow filmed and released to the public, because do you guys remember Darryl Doucette? He's the quarterback of the current United States flag football team, and he went viral last season, I believe, or last year when initial discussions of NFL players being involved in the Olympics first started happening. He said that it was disrespectful to just assume that NFL players would represent their country instead of the guys who have already been a part of the USA flag football team. I definitely get where he's coming from on that, but he then took it a bit too far, 100 steps too far to be exact, when he said that he would be a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes because of his IQ of the game. And to be clear, he was talking about flag football, not professional football, but still, come on, big dog, let's relax a little bit. Anyway, with all that being said, what do you guys think about the idea of NFL players being in the Olympics? Do you like it? You hate it? Does it concern you? Because what if one of these big named NFL players actually got injured in a game? That's probably my biggest concern about it all. It would be fun to see them, but man, if Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, somebody like that actually got injured in a game, tweaked an ankle, whatever, that would definitely not be good. But hey, let me know either way in the comments down below. And with that, I'll see y'all next time.